Over the last week, not so much talking in front of this many cameras. Welcome to all of you guys, and welcome to all of you guys. We're going to talk for a little bit. We are going to give you a little break from marching around campus. We've got an awesome lineup of speakers, and I'm just going to sort of kick things off here today. My name is Aaron Kroll. I am a senior lecturer in the English department, part of the... part of the non-tenure system faculty, and we're representing both the tenure system faculty and the non-tenure system faculty here at UIC. I am the president of UIC United Faculty, and we are all here to win a contract. We hoped we wouldn't have to call a strike, but we had to call a strike, and I'm so happy you came out today. We are here fighting for a fair contract. We are here fighting for our students, and it is no exaggeration to say that we are here fighting for the future of higher education. And this is a fight we are going to win together. All of us here today, all of the faculty at the University of Illinois Chicago, all of our allies on this campus, and all of our brothers and sisters in the union movement across this city and across this country. We're going to hear from some of them today. We're going to start, though, by hearing from one of our members. Therese Quinn is a professor of museum and exhibition studies, and more importantly, she is the executive vice president of UIC United Faculty. Therese, come on up.
Thank you, Aaron, and thank you all for being here, my brothers and sisters, comrades and accomplices. Thank you for this, and thank you for the solidarity. A year ago, as we started bargaining for this contract, the one we're still bargaining for, we were heartened that GEO had just ended a successful strike. That will be the case. Woo! Yes! And that will be the case for our faculty union as well. When we strike, we win. As our banner somewhere here attests, this university seems to love making its workers pull out the picket signs before it starts negotiating in earnest. Or maybe they just love seeing Scabby the rat. I know I do. And across Chicago, our union town, critical cultural institutions are organizing for labor justice. A year ago, The Reader, our wonderful local paper, and a union shop that had just picketed its way out of a toxic relationship with one of its owners, it organized. And when we picket, we win. When we come together like this today in solidarity, we win. Woo! And 1 year ago, our faculty union's beloved past president, Janet Smith, had just died. On this day a year ago, our grief was raw. We missed Janet acutely then, and our loss is still painful. This is not, however, a memorial statement or day for Janet. We gave those well-deserved tributes last year, many of them. Janet was deeply loved and respected. She was also committed to the union she helped to build and committed to justice. She enjoyed Scabby and was always happy to join a picket line. Today, I want us to celebrate Janet, who was a force and left this legacy, all of us together today. Woo! Thank you. I was a graduate student at UIC in the 1990s and a member of GEO. Thank you. When it was still collecting cards, we were not a union yet, but we were working hard then to establish the union, despite the many obstacles thrown in our way by UIC's administration, the same kind of obstacles and shenanigans they're pulling today. As far as I know, the faculty union wasn't even a distant dream at that point. I returned to UIC as faculty in 2012. It was great to see that GEO was fully organized, and I was delighted to be here as faculty struggling for our first contract, and yes, went on strike to get it. I vividly remember the fun we had making signs and banners for our pickets, the kind that you all are carrying today. and that, like me, Janet loved making and using these props to agitate for the good working and learning conditions we all deserve at UIC. Thank you. She represented our faculty at GEO's rallies, got up and got down with SEIU, and marched at the hospital for INA, the Illinois Nurses Association. In fact, Janet was everywhere, and she seemed to know everyone. Janet had energy, and she was committed to supporting all her union siblings and all the community at UIC in struggle. Janet also had flair. This was evident in her personal style, but what was particularly delightful was how she brought color, sparkle, and a sense of play and pleasure to her union work and organizing. For example, while faculty were bargaining another contract when Janet was president, she created and delivered with a group of us colleagues a massive, literally door-blocking and unignorable glittery Valentine's Day card to the administrators, reminding them that the union wasn't asking for a sweetheart deal, just justice. She left them some chocolates, too. Like Chris Smalls, the president of the Amazon Labor Union, which was just certified, another success. Thank you. Chris Smalls successfully organized warehouse workers on Staten Island with offers of free weed and food. Janet also knew the power of providing sustenance, often with a message. As we built our faculty union, we gave ice cream bars to our students, honey to the chancellor, and of course wine and cheese to our colleagues. Finally, Janet paid attention to people. I felt that she saw what we each brought to the table and invited us to start there and build from those skills and interests. This was certainly one of her great strengths as our union president. The union's first president, Joe Persky, was a great leader, and Janet took what she learned from him into her term as president, or multiple terms as president. Today we have another wonderful president, Aaron Kroll, who you just heard from. Woo! Go, Aaron! Go, bargaining team! Yeah, Aaron worked closely with Janet before taking the helm. Joe, Janet, Aaron, and our wonderful bargaining teams have given our union a strong foundation, and we will win this strike. I invite you to join me today in remembering Janet by emulating her creativity, generosity, and most importantly, her solidarity. We have honored her today by showing up and standing up for each other as she did for us. So let's fight this fight for Janet, and let's win. What do we want? Yeah, let me try that again. Yeah. What do we want? Contract! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Contract! When do we want it? Now! If we don't get it, shut it down! If we don't get it, shut it down! Thank you all.
All right, let's hear it one more time for Therese. Thank you, Therese. We've got some more speakers coming. Honestly, the exciting ones are coming up in a moment. Let me just tell you a little bit about where we are in bargaining. We started bargaining this contract back in April, and we've made some progress since then, but we have not won yet. But we're going to win. When we set out on this campaign, we have 4 goals in mind. We are going to win fair contracts for our faculty that keep up with inflation and reward the excellent work we do on this campus. We all know that we've been losing money to historic inflation over the last couple of years, and so far the money on the table is not making us whole. We also set out to support our university community. We want to support our students. We want to support the staff. We want to support the mission of our university, especially the mission for undergraduate education. Our university says they're meeting the needs of the students on this campus. What do you think? We think they need to do more. We're also out here fighting for job security for non-tenure system faculty. We We have seen universities around this country relying on contingent labor as the state retreats from the financing of higher education. Is that right? No. Is higher education a public good? Yes. We need to do better for our non-tenure system faculty, and we are going to do better. We are also fighting to let more daylight in to administrative decisions on this campus. We are going to strengthen shared governance. We are going to give faculty a stronger voice, and we are going to fight for transparency and due process up and down this university. We are going to win this contract, and we are going to win together. Right now, we're going to hear from a great lineup of speakers. First, I'd like to introduce Lakeisha Collins. She is the Illinois State Representative for the 9th District. That is the district right here, the district we're standing in. We have long been supporters of her work, and she has been a big supporter of our union, and I am thrilled that she is here today.
How we feeling out there, brothers and sisters in person? A bit short for the mic. So, I'm State Representative Lakeisha Collins, and I am a proud state representative for the 9th District, and I support you all 100%. I am a mother of 3. I am a nursing home worker. I am an organizer from one of the biggest, baddest, and boldest, and most progressive unions in the city of Chicago, in the Midwest, SEIU Healthcare Illinois, who is your ally, long-time ally. I have a personal story that's connected to our educators. For those who don't know my story, I'll tell you a really quick version of it. So as a young girl, I was trying to navigate through a system that did not see me, right? I was raised without my mother, my grandmother, who was paralyzed on one side. I was exposed to trauma. I was exposed to things that a 5-year-old girl should never have been exposed to. But at the age of 15, it was my educator who stepped in and saved my life. It was my therapist who told me that I needed to stay here on this earth because I was threatening suicide at that time. My back was against the wall. I didn't see any hope. But she spoke life back into me. And so if it wasn't for her, if it wasn't for my educators, if it wasn't for the community that saw something in me, I would not be standing here with you all today. If it wasn't for my union teaching me how to fight back on administrators and bosses like you all are standing out here today, I wouldn't know the importance of having a union. So I am so glad that God had put me on the path that I was on because I was a bargaining member. So I know what it's like sitting across the table from people who are out of touch with the workers and what we do. I sat across from the table from bosses who looked at us and undervalued us and didn't appreciate the work that we do. But I'm here to tell you that without you, this place will not run. And the administration here needs to understand that the low wages that they are presenting to you are a slap in the face, and they can do better. They don't want to. Nobody wakes up and say, I want to go on a strike. This is a hard decision that you have to make. I know, I was there. I was in your shoes. It's not easy. But to see your students out here supporting you, that says a lot. That says a lot. You all are teaching the next generation to take on and create more paths for more students who want to just live and thrive in society. But this administration has turned their back on you. And that's why I'm standing here with you today. Though I represent the campus, but they know that I draw the line and I'm always going to be on your side no matter what. I'm going to stand out with you, stand here with you as long as it takes. But we need to make sure that our non-tenure has permanent employment. To know that you could be working here for 15 years and not know if you'll have a job the next month, that's insane. Something is wrong with that. But while administration know where they're going to get their next check from, they have you walking on eggshells. You grow relationships with your students. You care for them. You go above and beyond the classroom. You're fighting for what they walk into when they leave out the society that they're walking into when they leave out of your classrooms. So they have to do better. So whatever you need me to do, know that your state representative, Lakeisha Collins, someone who comes from labor, is going to always be on your side. Thank you for your dedication to our students and our community.
Thank you. Can we hear it one more time for Representative Collins? I told you we had allies and supporters around the city. We also have allies and supporters around the country, and I'm going to introduce one of those right now. Irene Mulvey is the president of the American Association for University Professors. The AAUP has been the leader on shared governance and academic freedom for as long as we've understood those concepts. And Irene has been at the center of fights for higher education for her career, and right here she is here to support us, to help us win a contract. Irene, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Aaron. I am delighted to be here. The view from here is amazing. Your solidarity is impressive. I'm Irene Mulvey. I'm president of the American Association of University Professors. I'm a vice president of the American Federation of Teachers. Proudly, I stand in solidarity with UICUF. University of Illinois Chicago United Faculty. What a great school this is. You know, UIC is a top-rated public university. Known for its undergraduate and graduate programs. I met graduate students on the picket line. Known for its degrees in arts, the sciences, humanities, business, technology, healthcare, law, urban planning, and public administration. You know, UIC is known for providing an excellent student-centered education in a caring and supportive environment. You know, UIC is a highly ranked research R1 university, one of only 4 in the state, and the only public R1 in Chicago. What makes UIC this good? This incredible faculty! You know it. It's the hardworking, dedicated faculty that make this university run. The faculty are the university. You know this. Students know this. Your administration knows this. So, why are we here instead of in our classrooms? Why are you here instead of doing the work you do every day to further UIC's mission of student-centered education and cutting-edge research? One reason. We are here because the administration continues to drag its feet while you fight for a fair contract. We want the contract needed so that UIC can continue to recruit and retain the excellent faculty that UIC students expect and deserve. We're here to fight for the fair contract you deserve. We're here to fight for the contract to maintain this magnificent institution. So, next question. Why is the administration dragging their feet on the fair contract you deserve? The contract expired 5 months ago, and still faculty continue to try and reach an agreement in good faith. You don't want to be here. You want to be in your classrooms, in the laboratories, in the library, in your office hours working with students. We are here because the administration left you no choice. That's right. You've been working without a contract for over 5 months. Your leadership, your bargaining team have done everything they could to move things forward short of a strike, but here we are. The administration is responsible for where we are here today. And we call on them to get back to the table and negotiate the fair contract that UIC faculty and students deserve. I want to take a moment to address the students here, especially the undergraduates. You don't work, yeah. Yay, students! Yay! You don't work here. You're students at UIC. Even if you're supportive of the faculty, you may see the strike as disruptive. I get that. So you don't work here, but you probably work somewhere already. And you're going to be starting a career and working full-time before you know it. So today, put yourself in the shoes of a worker. Consider the situation from the perspective of a UIC faculty member. The UIC faculty are dedicated to this institution. They want UIC to be the best it can be. They know what's needed to recruit and retain the excellent scholars who will build this reputation, because the faculty are on the front lines of recruiting. They are fighting for a better and a stronger UIC. They're fighting for the value of your degree. They're fighting for students. They're fighting for you. So thank you, students, for your support and your solidarity. Speaking of dedicated faculty, it is fitting that we're here on the anniversary of the death of Professor Janet Smith. She used her precious time on this planet tirelessly fighting for equity and justice in all aspects of her life. Her work on equity issues in housing, as a professor of urban planning and policy, co-director of your Voorhees Center, president of the local. Her legacy continues to inspire me. So UIUCUF, back to you guys. Thanks again, students. I want you to understand the impressive support that's here for you in your fight for a fair contract. I'm here representing National AAUP, and we have your back. We stand in solidarity with you today, tomorrow, and every day until you get the fair contract you deserve. As you know, AAUP has been setting the standards for our profession in higher education since our founding in 1915. We have expertise in bargaining the Red Book. I never travel without a copy. And I am delighted to see Red Book policies and language in your union's proposals. AFT is here. AFT President Randi Weingarten is the busiest person on the planet. And yet she's here today because of the importance of your fight for our profession, for higher education, and for the academic labor movement writ large. Dan Montgomery, the president of the Illinois Federation of Teachers, will be here tomorrow. Stacy Davis Gates, president of the mighty Chicago Teachers Union. There's more. Executive Vice President of the Illinois Federation of Teachers. There's more. And AFT Vice President is here because of the importance of this fight and because your fight is our fight. You, your bargaining team, your local leadership, your rank and file, you are strengthening the academic labor movement, and we're here with you for the long haul. AFT, IFT, CTU, AAUP are here. We have your back. Your local leadership and your bargaining team are amazing. I met your bargaining team guys on the picket line. Local President Aaron Call, local Vice President Therese Quinn have done an incredible job leading this union democratically and keeping the rank and file engaged and informed. Let me end by reminding you, your most powerful weapon is your solidarity. The administration knows that. Dragging their feet is an age-old tactic to wear you down and tire you out. Running out the clock is intended to get you to break. Don't fall for these tactics. Make sure your local leaders and your bargaining team know that you're still here. You're all still here for the long haul. Build, yes. Sorry to have my back to you guys. Build on the strength and solidarity you see here today. You are supported by all the people who understand that your fight is a fight for a better and a stronger UIC. You are supported by students, by alumni, by local business, by local elected leaders, by IFT, by AFT, by AAUP. Stay strong and in solidarity until you get the fair contract you're fighting for. The fair contract needed to maintain UIC as the high-quality, top-ranked university. The fair contract you deserve. Let's end with a chant. No contract, shut it down. No contract? Shut it down. No contract? Shut it down. No contract? Shut it down. No contract. Shut it down. Thank you.
All right, UIC United Faculty is an AAUP union, and we are so happy to have Irene here today. Let's hear it for her one more time. We've got one more local leader I want to introduce you to. This is Byron Sitchko Lopez. He's the alderman for Chicago's 25th Ward, representing the Pilsen neighborhood just south of campus. We are so happy to have him here today.
Thank you. And what a great display of solidarity today. I tell you, it is so comforting to be here in the anniversary of the passing of Dr. Janet Smith, a dear friend of our community. And just a little bit less than a year ago, we introduced a resolution to honor her legacy and her work. She'll be so proud of you today. So proud of you today. The legacy of great faculty like Janet lives in you today. You make UIC. You are the people. The greatest assets of our community are not the buildings, are not the grants, are the people, the faculty, the students, the employees that make this great university. I'm a proud alumni. I also have the opportunity to organize with SEIU 73 as a steward. I'm sending you the solidarity from our union as well. And also, as a former student leader here, GEO, and I'm glad to see all the students here. This is the display of solidarity that changed institutions to be the good public serving institutions that ought to be, that serve our communities. I'm proud to represent the Pilsen community, and I think that it would be just fitting to honor Janet's legacy for what the faculty do for our community. Janet Smith and the many faculty of our on UIC are not just faculty. They're activists and scholars who come to our community to speak truth to power. Was Janet one of the first people in the Borges Center and the many faculty here who spoke about the atrocities of displacement, gentrification, corruption, and then continue to help us to make sure that we have justice in our community. But we cannot have justice in our community if we don't have justice here, right here in UIC. That's why this strike is so critical for us. We need the students to stand in solidarity. This is about the mental health and the wraparound services that we need. This is about the employees and the staffing that need a fair contract. And as sure as hell, we need a fair contract for our faculty as well, who make us all proud with the day-to-day work that you do to make our university the proud public institutions that we have helped to build. Today, we say unequivocally, we stand in solidarity every single day until we have a fair contract now. A public institution, a public university for all of us across the city. And right here and across the city, across the county, and across the country, we say, si se puede, yes we can, and we're gonna make it happen. A fair contract now. Thank you very much.
Awesome. So happy you are here. Irene told you guys, we are an AAUP union, but we are also an AFT union. The American Federation of Teachers has been a leader for an education around this country, and we are so happy to have three tremendous leaders from the AFT with us here today. I'm going to introduce the first one. If you are a Chicagoan, you know who Stacey Davis Gates is. She's a Chicago Public Schools teacher, and she is the president of AFT Local 1. Come on! This is the Chicago Teachers Union. We're always happy when we can do a little bit to support the CTU, and we are so thrilled that they are here today to support us. We really look to CTU as an inspiration. They have been a leader on bargaining for the common good. It's about recognizing that it's time to use union power to support our communities. We are not going to settle this contract until we can do our part to help support our communities. So I am thrilled to have Stacey here today. Stacey, thank you for being here.
So we would say if we don't get it, shut it down. If we don't get it, shut it down. If we don't get it, shut it down. Yeah, so we shutting it down. Listen, I'm going to make this short because you have two powerful speakers coming behind me. One that can put this within the context of the nation, where teachers from pre-K all the way to post-secondary are under attack. And you're under attack in a democracy that doesn't want to be democratic. And teachers serve a role, a very important role, in making sure that our democracy works, because you get to tell people that they get what they deserve. You get to teach people how to fight back for themselves. We live in a city that is unfair because it is segregated. We live in a city that is unfair because our mayor, our city, refuses to serve the people that you put on the negotiating table, the young people who inhabit this city. Every day your students pass by people living under a viaduct. Every day your students walk by people who are sleeping outside. Every day your students wake up to casualty reports telling us how many young people were killed in this city, how many young people were shot in this city. And so when you put mental health care on the table, you put the neglect of communities on the table. When you put mental health care support on the negotiating table, you say leaders have not done their job and the people have to unite and get the job done. That's what we ain't post-pandemic when people are still dying. People who look like the vast majority of your students. See, this is a campus that serves students of color as the majority. This is a campus that says that we have to respect all of the fullness of our students who don't just deserve an education, but they deserve an education and to be healthy when they get the degree. Our brother just said something about common good bargaining. Common good bargaining is the only bargaining that unions get to do in the 21st century. Common good bargaining is the only type of bargaining that is going to transform the very places where we work and we live. Common good bargaining is the only type of bargaining that will get a student on the picket line with you. Let me say this. We are going to have to continue to draw more stark lines in the sand when it comes to how we union in this city, in this state, in this country. Because how we union will determine if people get health care. How we union will determine how much funding comes into our school communities. How we union will determine if unhoused people become housed people with affordability. How we union determines the number of people who are employed versus unemployed. How we union determines if you can say Black Lives Matter and then prove it. How we union determines if migrants who are sent on a bus as a political ploy actually get to put roots down in a house where they can raise a family. How we union. So I want to make it clear that this movement is about bread and butter, and it's about the rest of the buffet. You know what a buffet has, right? Yeah. You know when you start out on that buffet, it has a salad bar. Y'all been, what was that old country buffet? Y'all got grandparents, right? Listen, you can get a salad. You can get Jell-O. You can. You can get the protein, right? All the meat. You can get your starches, your macaroni and cheese. You can get your mashed potatoes, right? They even got dessert for you. Lots of fried chicken, right? So why do they tell us that we can only bargain for bread and butter? Benefits and wages. So I'm going to tell you what you do, negotiators, when you go back to the table. You draw a diagram of a buffet. And you push it across the table. And you circle the whole damn buffet. And you tell them that we're going to leave with the bread and butter, but we're going to take a little dessert, right? We're going to get a little chicken and steak. We're going to take mashed potatoes and macaroni, right? We're going to get a little salad and some Jell-O, and we're going to take some pudding to go. Transform UIC. Transform Springfield. Transform Champaign-Urbana. Transform the state of Illinois into a union state that bargains for the bread and butter but leaves with dessert. Thank you, UIC. I was focused on my pudding. You know the banana? It ain't quite like Magnolia, but it'll do. No, look, y'all gotta have some fun with this fight. Joy is resistance too. Settle into joy being resistance. They mad when workers are happy. They lost. Listen here, Randi Weingarten is the hardest working union leader in the entire world, and I dare you to find somebody else who can compete with her. Randi Weingarten lives in Chicago because Local 1 cannot stop fighting. And now she's taking up a residence down in the West Loop because Local 6456 is kicking ass. I'm gonna get in so much trouble with my mother watching this live stream. She's gonna say your vocabulary is so much better than that. Listen, I dare you to be a part of a union where your international leader makes it happen. I dare you to be in an international union where your leader says, what else? I dare you to be in an international leader where your union leader says, let's get on the picket line. See, everybody ain't about the fight. Sometimes they're about the negotiation and diplomacy, and that's okay when you have diplomatic people. It's okay when the boss knows how to negotiate. But when it is clear that they can't call Randy because she's coming to the picket line. And Randy is not just bringing a good word, she is bringing resources. Randy is not just bringing a good word and resources, but she's bringing strategic wisdom. Randy's not just bringing a good word, resources, and strategic wisdom, but she's also going to carry you with the millions of members and allies that we have in this country. She is going to carry you across that line with a contract that is bread, that is butter, that is main course, that is second course, that is third course, and that is fourth course. Randy Weingarten is going to come here in Chicago with Loco 6456 to bring us the justice, the equity, and the fight that this city deserves, that this union deserves, and that this campus deserves. Y'all give Randy some love.
I know the cameras want me to be over here, and that means that all of Chicago will see you if I'm over here, but I want to be over here. And the bottom line is, so I'm going to stand over here. Look, a lot of people have said a lot of what you needed to hear in terms of support and having your back. But it's cold outside, and I know if my feet are cold, and you've been picketing since 10 o'clock this morning, and we got a lot more picketing, we're cold. But one of the reasons we are on the streets is because the university administration is really cold. And I heard a lot today. I mean, I was on a lot of planes yesterday, and I watched a lot of the Sunday shows all across the country with a lot of those talkers. I heard the word family a lot. I heard the word freedom a lot. Obviously, I hear the word fairness a lot. I heard the word faith a lot. But what you are doing today is you are fighting for the faith of this institution. Of this institution to this city and to its children and young adults and communities. You are the ones who are the faith fighters. I'm going to get to fairness last. You heard Irene. We all want freedom. This is the weekend, not only an anniversary of Janet's death, but the weekend of the King celebration. The weekend of freedom. Young adults do not have freedom unless they can navigate the world. And the way they navigate the world in this society is through having college or career and pathways. I was talking to the press earlier. Yes, the University of Illinois is the land-grant university of this state. I went to the land-grant University of New York, which was Cornell. The land-grant universities are wonderful institutions. But if there is a campus in Chicago of this land-grant institution, then it needs to be treated like the campus in Champaign-Urbana. Freedom means real freedom, means intellectual freedom, means academic freedom. And that means we need to treat the faculty like the freedom fighters and freedom knowers and freedom couriers that they are. And that is what this fight is about. I love the people talking about freedom and then want to take freedom away. Freedom is economic freedom, so you can actually live in the place that you teach, and that's what this strike is about. And then there's family. And this one really got to me when I got to Chicago and saw what they said last night. Stacey was eloquent about this. Your representatives were eloquent about this. But you are fighting on your feet about this. And what am I talking about? Every educator in this country, I would say this world, understands deeply the effects of COVID. We see it in our classrooms, in our labs, on the streets all the time. The anxiety, the trauma, the disruption. So what you have done is you have said that it is vitally important, if we care about kids' academic success, if we care about their future, it is vitally important on this campus to have the mental health supports and the other diagnostic testing and other supports they need to thrive. That's what you are saying. And your administration, who has refused to do it up till now, then said to you yesterday, oh, it's not your business. Really? Not your business? It's everybody's business in this city. Of course it's your business. And that is what bargaining for the common good means. We are trying to help all of our families and all of God's children. So, you're fighting for family. You're fighting for freedom. You're fighting for fidelity and faith of this institution. And you're asking, just asking for fairness. For fairness. We should not have to be on the streets to ask for fairness with champagne or Urbana and to ask for fairness for yourselves and our kids. They should have settled months and months and months ago. But this administration has why we're all here, and that is why we're together, and that is why, regardless of how cold our feet are, we are going to match their coldness with our walking, create a lot of joy and a lot of warmth and heat in this city for a fair contract. As everybody said, all of us have your back. Now there's one other person who has your back that I want to introduce right now. We're talking about this city. A city that needs a lot more warmth, that needs a lot more joy, that needs a lot more community stickiness and togetherness. Yes, we all know how to fight, but we need a leader in the city that is fighting for community and fighting for all our kids and fighting for all our families. And that leader is a dear friend of mine. He's a teacher. He is a commissioner. He is a lot of other things. But I want to introduce who I hope, with your help, will be the next mayor of the city of Chicago, Brandon Johnson.
Randy Weingarten. Come on, y'all, give her some love. Well, what's up, Chicago? Hey, listen, to the faculty, you all are doing it today. And to the administration, let's just keep this going. If you don't know, now you know. This is a union town. Come on, Chicago, this is a union town. So I am honored to be here. For those of you who are not familiar, my name is Brandon Johnson, and I'll be the first public school teacher ever elected to be the mayor of the city of Chicago. So listen, you've heard it from all of our leaders. You know what this fight is about. And those who oppose us, they know what this fight is about. They are afraid of our power because they don't want to relinquish it. Because the power that we possess today is a power that will set up posterity. And what do I mean by that? And I'm going to be brief, I promise you. Said every single politician running for office. Don't help that my daddy's a preacher, so this can go on for a long time. But as Randy indicated, we're celebrating one of the most dynamic human beings to ever walk the planet Earth. But when Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated, he was one of the most unpopular figures to ever walk the face of the earth at that time. See, listen, the power structure that Randy Weingarten was talking about, faith and promise and hope, these are the same forces that wanted to see the movement that Dr. King was leading. They wanted it assassinated. They wanted it to end. And so they were very comfortable talking about his death, but did not want to talk about the light that he was bringing to this country and to this world. And so what am I getting at? One of the most powerful statements that Dr. King ever said. And he said it talking to workers, because this is what it's about, Chicago and America. It's about working people. It's about the people that make sure that grandparents are supported and loved. It's about people who make sure that little children who are dropped off in the morning, that they're supported and loved. It's about the people that service the children in our school communities across this city. When school communities who are suffering from disinvestment, children who show up in our classrooms who are homeless, children who show up in our classrooms who are hungry, children who show up in our classrooms who are unhoused. This is about working people. And this country has shown animus towards working people for too long. And when Dr. King said that if the labor movement and the civil rights movement were to ever collide, what enormous potential it would be. Well, people of Chicago, that potential is here. If you believe that we're not just fighting, did I turn my mic off? What is going on here? If you believe that we're not just fighting for a better contract, but we're fighting for a better Chicago, let me hear you say yes. Yes. If you believe that we are fighting to make sure that when I'm mayor of Chicago, that we actually pass treatment, not trauma, so that there's 24 hours access to mental health services. If you believe we're fighting for that, let me hear you say yes. Yes. If you believe that every single public institution has to be fully funded and supported, let me hear you say yes. Yes. If you believe that transportation and health care is a human right, let me hear you say yes. Yes. If you believe that we need to make sure that we pass a tax on property that's worth $1 million or more to make sure we're dealing with the 65,000 homeless people in this city. If you believe we're fighting for that, let me hear you say yes. Yes. If you believe that your contract is setting ourselves up to build a more just, equitable society, let me hear you say yes. Yes. Listen, before I take my seat, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you for your courage. One of the toughest days I ever had as a teacher is when my students were struggling and we were missing each other. And you know what that's like when students come into your classroom and they're not as focused as they need to be. And one of my students who was struggling that day with the rest of her classmates, and everything that I said and did, it just missed them. And when one of my students said that, Mr. Johnson, you shouldn't be teaching here, she said you should be teaching at a good school. That for too long we've had a political structure in this city that have made people believe, families, that they don't deserve better. But I know a better day is ahead, and not just for this contract, but for people like my former students who had schools closed on them. They've had their housing shut down on them. Their parents has lost their jobs. We are fighting for a better Chicago, and a better Chicago is near. And that's why I'm running for mayor of Chicago. Not just for a good contract for you all, but for a better city. Don't forget, you all, this is about a better city. city. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Brandon. Thank you, Randy. Thank you, Stacy. We've heard a lot today from our allies across the city, across the country, our allies who have our back. We're going to need some support to win this contract. They're here for us, and we are going to win. You know what we want. What do we want? You know what happens when they don't give us a contract? We shut this shit down!
If we don't get it,
Shut it down!
if we don't get it, shut it down. If we don't get it, shut it down. If we don't get it, shut it down.
Listen, we shut it down, and it's gonna stay shut down until we get a contract. So thank you for being here. We're gonna go back out to the pickets, and we are gonna be on those picket lines until we get that contract. One more chant for us. We know that institutions are its people, and we are the people. Who are we? Who are we? Were you? I think. I've been talking a lot, you guys.